It is March 2022 when the Dutch police discover a war arsenal in a shed in Alphen on the Rhine, a small town of 100,000 inhabitants which lies between Amsterdam and The Hague. This is a chance discovery that leads to a Polish-Dutch gang linked to many recent attacks, including that of journalist Peter Rudolf de Vries, murdered in 2021 for the alleged account of Ridouan Taghi, godfather of the Mocro Maffia, but also linked to a recent liquidation attempt in the Dominican Republic. Peter, one of the most popular journalists in the Netherlands, is on his way to his regular appointment that day for a show in the RTL Boulevard studio. However, he doesn't know that there is already a team planning his death for a few months, and the executors are waiting for the green light. That is, Peter's exit, going from the media to the parking lot, a path that shouldn't take him more than 3 minutes.
Op een trappetje zit de schutter met zijn pistool te wachten op de bekendste journalist van Nederland. Zo vertellen ooggetuigen die niet voor camera willen. Als zijn doelwit voorbij loopt, schiet hij 5 keer.
The two executors, Camille E. and Delano G., were soon arrested after a logistical error in their escape plan, and Peter dies 9 days later.
Vandaag werd bekend dat het zwartste scenario is uitgekomen.
It was a shocking moment for the Dutch people, but also a triggering moment for the key witness, known as 5089 or Eddie. It was a Polish man who, after seeing the news, realized that he had been in the direct vicinity of the murderous squad behind the attack. He then decided to make statements to the police, despite the punishment that awaits him in the underworld.
I want justice to prevail.
Everything starts for Eddie when he meets a group of Polish people, among whom is Christian M., with whom he will become quite close. In addition to Christian, there is also Kamil, a scammer who was selling cocaine and reportedly had financial problems since a batch of drugs was stolen. Eddie's role in the group was limited to odd jobs, such as registering vehicles in his name. It seems that the relationship with Christian was forged while he was in prison, while Eddie was taking care of him from the outside. The trust was strong enough that Christian even began to boast about playing in the big league, about being in the mafia. He started talking about a certain uncle who is connected with the murder of Peter.
Everyone was afraid of him. He once explained to me who the uncle is, that it was someone who killed the brother and the lawyer of the key witness.
By uncle, the witness certainly meant Ridouan Taghi. Indeed, the criminal Nabil B. decided to testify against the criminal organization revolving around Ridouan, which had immediate repercussions. First, his brother Ridouan, an innocent citizen, was liquidated, and then the same fate awaited Dirk Vries, the lawyer who defended Nabil. This already showed the seriousness and tensions to be noted at the time, when many public figures could have become a potential target for the mafia. One of those targets was Peter.
Peter de Vries reports that the police told him that Ridouan T., who was still at large at the time, had put him on a hit list.
This will push Peter to speak openly on his Twitter account about this rumor.
He ordered my liquidation because of statements critical of him.
After publishing the message, it will be revealed that the very next day, Ridouan himself had sent a rather special letter to Peter.
This is pure fabrication and pure nonsense. I have no reason to do anything to you. You can go wherever and whenever you want without any danger for you. I always watched your TV show with great fascination when I was a young boy. I respect you and consider you a professional journalist.
Even if, at that time, the motive to put Peter on the list of targets to be eliminated was not very clear, a year later it will materialize itself when he decides to work as a confidential advisor of the witness Nabil B. in the Great Marengo trial, and Petter himself was aware of the danger of his choice. Thus, the mission of its liquidation would have begun in April 2021.
Christian M. has been looking for a man for his uncle since April. He calls him his uncle. He is a Moroccan man for whom Christian works.
Eddie would have then heard that a journalist had to be taught a lesson. He was even offered to follow the journalist for a few days in exchange for 10,000 euros, but he refused the offer. However, this will not stop the team from doing a preliminary study, as there is no shortage of manpower. Finally, Kamil offers himself for the final task, but also to pull the trigger. The evidence shows that more than a week before the attack, when Petter was visiting the parking lot, the guards noticed a man of Eastern European appearance, with a tattoo on his neck, acting suspiciously. It was indeed the Polish Kamil. Petter would have been warned of this discovery, but he refused any personal security.
He didn't want to share his agenda with the police or prosecutors. If he wanted to visit a source, he didn't want it to be known.
As for Kamil, shortly before the planned action, he tried to withdraw, making Christian understand that his weapon had been confiscated by the police and that he could no longer commit the execution. However, this excuse would only postpone a mission that he could no longer decline because he already knew too much.
If Kamil won't shoot, he should at least drive as a driver. If he doesn't want that, Kamil should be shot, because it's already gone too far.
Thus, Kamil will take the place of the driver, while the newcomer, a certain Delano, will take care of the shooting. Delano is a young man who had tried a career in music without meeting the expected success. Influenced negatively by his friends in the neighborhood, he was promised 100,000 euros for the liquidation of Petter, while Kamil, to drive the car, was to receive 50,000 euros. On the day of the action, Kamil would have made at least 6 turns in his Renault around the RTL studio before finally fleeing the scene of the crime. In court, the Pole claimed that he was never aware of the real execution plan hidden behind his mission as a driver.
Wysoki sądzie, jakbym wiedział dokładnie, po co jadę do Amsterdamu zawieźć pewne osoby, to bym tego nie zrobił. Ale nie mam nic wspólnego ze śmiercią Pettera de Vries. Nikogo nie zabiłem, nigdy żadnego morderstwa na oczy nie widziałem i nigdy bym nikogo nie zabił.
However, during the action, both actors would have likely been in contact with the alleged Christian, encoded by NN4229 on their Google Pixels phone found in the car. It appears that Kamil himself showed Delano the entire mission briefing. After the attack, Delano reportedly sent an unscrupulous message.
Brother! Through the head and body. Really successful. He died. Fucking dead.
But the odds are not in their favor. In fact, usually in this kind of situation, a second getaway car is parked somewhere to make the exchange, burning the first vehicle. This is not the case. It is then predictable that the two will soon be arrested.
Ik wil mijn medeleven tonen aan alle nabestaanden. En ik voel wel degelijk met u allen mee.
A life sentence was requested against both men, and the case was delayed because of Eddie's statements. Eddie, out of fear for his own life, decided to testify. It is known that in addition, 2 other men were involved in this mission, filming the execution live. The intermediate release of the videos of Peter's murder was deliberately done to ensure maximum attention, and one of these suspects named Taghi as the person who ordered the murder.
In an intercepted conversation that appears in an official report, according to the police, Taghi's name was mentioned phonetically.
Finally, on September 26th, yet another Pole, Konrad W., was caught in Poland, also in connection with Peter's murder. It is clear that the central involvement in this story is attributed to Christian, who is now linked to 4 criminal cases spread over the country. First of all, his name is found in the file around the alleged criminal organization of Ridouan Taghi's nephew Anwar, specialized in stolen cars. Christian is also suspected of being involved in the attempted murder of a man beaten with a hammer in October 2019 in Utrecht. He also appears in a file relating to an attempted liquidation on another Polish national in 2021. The discovery of a large consignment of firearms in a shed in Alphen on the Rhine, with, among other things, 22 automatic rifles and 4 rocket launchers, also reveals ramifications with Christian.
It's like Call of Duty.
In fact, it is a gang composed mainly of Poles and Dutch, which would be managed by Jordi van der S. According to the justice, he would have worked fully with Christian in this criminal brigade. In this case, the judiciary also makes use of the statements made by witness 5089.
A lot of connections and links that indicate that the suspects in several cases are from the same circle.
Furthermore, this gang would also be involved in the assassination attempt of Cor P. in the Dominican Republic in January 2022. The suspect Jordi would have directed spotters from a distance to guide them in the attack. Cor himself was part of a murderous squad known as the Tattoo Killers, but for the moment, the motive for the attack is not known. In the case of Peter R. de Vries, there is a debate about the Poles who, until now, have had little involvement in organized crime. Could they take over the violent missions of the Mocro Maffia?
Een deel van mij staat nog steeds langs de kant van de weg, starend naar het schermpje van mijn telefoon, naar de laatste berichten die ik naar Peter stuurde, in de hoop dat de vinkjes blauw kleuren.